Hello, hello, hello. I just made myself a perfume oil and it contains chocolate and violet and what else? Some kind of vanilla. It's very nice. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's beautiful outside. It's kind of cold right now, but I have the heater on downstairs and winter clothes on, and then it is livable. Upstairs here it is kind of okay. The temperature, I don't need to turn the heater on. It's wonderful to have big windows and to look out into the forest and see some glimpses of ocean in between. Love it, absolutely love it. And we went to the ocean yesterday and we got there in just the right time of the day. The sun was setting and was a beautiful light shining over the ocean with sun dogs shining down in like spotlight streams onto certain patches of the ocean, and it was an atmosphere that I could never describe with words. It just, I might be able to paint it, but not even that. You certainly can't really capture something like this to the fullest, even with a camera. So it was just so, it was infinitely beautiful, infinitely gorgeous. And the ocean here is always too cold to go in, even in the summertime. There's an Alaskan Gulf stream that comes over here, and that comes here within the ocean, an ice stream from the ice blocks. And then there's also an air gulf stream, an Alaskan air vortex that comes over here, and that kind of like, collects in this northern Gulf, and it causes everything to get real cold, also in the summertime too. So, but when the wind shifts, and it does shift, then the air comes from inland, and that is hot air from the desert. So, and that's why the temperature shifts back and forth here. Even in the summertime, sometimes you have to wear a jacket and long pants. But that is okay. I just went to I went to 2 chat rooms just for a little while, like half an hour each or something. And did some activism, sprinkled some love onto them. And it's this one chat room of peaceful, quiet waterfall with peaceful piano music. That chat room has 95 or more % of Muslims in there preaching hate, bombs, bomb icons, knives, swords, uh, explosions, fire, Allahu Akbar, uh, hammers. It's like, and then Arabic. Many of them don't speak English, and just so that they know they are understood, they will bring in those icons. That is very not misunderstandable, those bombs. Okay, so just so that everyone knows, here are the bombs for you. That's and then I talked about love and peace that needs to come into the world. And some of them got very, very angry that I'm preaching love and peace because they don't want love and peace. So no, my question is no, and I talked to my husband about it earlier. What is it that makes these people not want love and peace? What is it? There was even someone in the chat room who actually revealed his way of feeling and thinking. And he said that love and peace and all of this, no one wants to hear about it, kind of like no one wants to hear, thus it must be the norm, thus it must be the sane way of thinking. Because everyone thinks that way, that must be the sane way of thinking, and you are crazy. You who want love and peace are crazy. Okay. So my question is, I have my theories, of course, and I watched Teal Swan, and she confirms a lot of those things that I am already suspecting and thinking, in terms of psychology. But my question goes out there. I want everyone to put their mind onto this. What is it that would make someone, as that one guy said, it makes him feel really bad when someone wants to introduce love and peace. It makes him uncomfortable and uneasy. So what is it about peace and love and activism of kindness and compassion that makes someone uneasy and uncomfortable and just simply filled with pain? What is it? What causes someone to be filled with pain? Okay, that brings me back to The Pale King by David Foster Wallace, and in the beginning of the book, the story about Leonard Stecyk, my favorite figure. Okay, I can write 10 books just about Leonard Stecyk himself, that character, that naive, all pure sugar, loving character that just wants to heal and make everyone feel loved and good. And everywhere he appears on the school campus, people start to have to take aspirin. They start to reach for their nicotine, they reach for their pain medicine or Vicodin, or they start to take drugs, or they get super depressed and almost suicidal just because they're around Leonard Stecyk, who is the sweetest, kindest person in the world, who just wants love and peace and really innocently and really genuinely wants it, and is not grandstanding, is not promoting himself, is not trying to get attention. People in the chat room, the only thing they can possibly imagine that I would be spending half an hour in there teaching love and kindness is because I want attention. It's the only way they can possibly make any sense into this, right? Why in the world would someone teach love and kindness? I mean, who can be so crazy, right, to teach love and kindness and peace and healing? That is how they think. I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating at all. This is how they think. And it's not just Muslims, there are also many people in the United States that think that way as well. Okay, there are some fundamentalists that think that way. There are some other religious groups that think that way. There are some people that think that way for a different ideology. Yeah, whatever, whatever group they're coming from. If they're coming from a group and from parents who have never seen them, never felt them, never loved them, who shamed them their entire lives, where the family was violent, where everyone was, where they had to be afraid for their life if they were different, so they had to adapt or die, that kind of situation, and yeah, and they will not even dare to question this, because adapt or die, like They will not dare to question it. The women don't question it. They're terrified. We women are absolutely terrified. Okay, I'm so terrified for the world and for the animals, and that is why I have to speak out. That's why I have to speak out. If someone, if more people had spoken out against the Hitler regime or against any kind of dictation in the world in history, if enough people had done what I am doing right now, had jumped in before it got too late, had jumped in and had said to the world, the emperor has no clothes on. You thought he had clothes on because he told you he did. But because he said, that's a fairy tale, he said, my clothes, they are so finely woven you can't even see them. Right? And then everyone went, yes, Emperor, your clothes are so finely woven, we can't even see them. And then it had to be the clown that jumps in and said, wait a minute, he doesn't have any clothes on. And then everyone suddenly looked at it from that perspective. And they went, yeah, the clown's right. My gosh, he doesn't have any clothes on. Oh, that's indecent exposure. This is just an example. It's a fairy tale, you know. So why does a clown, a jester, an outsider, the Sakshi in Sanskrit, why does the Sakshi have to come in to say, wait a minute, what they're doing is violence, and you accept that without any objections? Why does the clown have to come into this? You know, the truther, the outsider, the Sakshi, or Sakshi or Sachi. You know that Satya is the truth, okay? So the Sachi or Sakshi is actually the truth speaker. And the truth speaker is always the outsider. Isn't that interesting? So in the same sense that Satan means the accuser in Hebrew. Satan is a Hebrew word that means the accuser. Why is the accuser demonized? Why does the word Satan, Satan, has undergone that transformation of meaning, word meaning, okay? It's etymological transformation, because it's a psychological transformation, because people see the accuser as the bad person, okay? One guy in the chat room said that I am dangerous. I said, why would love and kindness be dangerous to you? I said, oh yeah, he doesn't know the answer to this, of course, because it's his ego speaking. It's not truth speaking. It's not his inner child speaking. It's not the actual person. The inner child would say, yes, you're right. Yes, they violated me into that mindset. But the inner child is muted by the defense mechanism. They are so afraid. Their defense mechanism is so huge, that's what the ego is, that it mutes the inner voice, the body, the natural needs. The natural needs for closeness, for peace, for quietness, tranquility, for being loved for what they are. Non-sexually, a peaceful, trusting world, a trusting relationship. So that's what the inner child wants, that's what the body wants, but it is drowned out, it's muted out, it's muted away, it's muted into invisibility by the ego. So the defense mechanism that just sees red, that just sees bombs, knives, swords, and hammers. Okay. That wants war. It's very sad. It's very, very, very sad. It's unimaginably sad. So I got time, as you can see, and I take that time and I make something with that time. And yeah, it might seem like what am I doing this for, or why do you waste your time? This is not a waste of time. I take the time, and against all odds, whether someone listens or not, I make these videos. About a video a day. Hopefully keeps the doctor away. Oh, well, that is my hope for the world, that less people have to go to the doctor with cut open arms and bodies and victims of terror and jihad and domestic violence. So that's why I make these videos in regards to all beings, animals and humans. I don't want to see any more animals or humans being victimized. I don't want to see terror in the world and horror and ever increasing ego and ego convolutions. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this dwindle out of proportions. So that's why I make these videos. Hopefully someone gets it. I can only say hopefully, because I don't know. Even if this is a complete waste of time in the end, even if, that's Jiddu Krishnamurti on his deathbed, he said to people, I don't think anyone understood me. But you do it anyway, You do your activism anyway, whether people get it or not, whether they listen or not, whether they whether they threaten me with bombs or not. All beings are my children, and they should also be your children. All beings are my responsibility, and they're also your responsibility at the same time. We're all mothers and grandmothers and fathers and grandfathers of all living beings, all of us. The human with his technology creating capacities and technology operating capacities has that responsibility, carries that responsibility. Okay? The other animals, they don't have the physiology, the anatomy and the brain anatomy to do these things. Okay? So they're at the mercy of what humans are creating on this planet, the mess that humans are creating. Because humans are nothing but machine operating apes. That's all they are. They operate machines recklessly, not responsibly. And that's why the world is in such a tremendous horror. That's why there is pesticide pollution, reckless pesticide pollution. Because some pesticide creating company is trying to recklessly and without any kind of future sight, recklessly polluting this planet just because of money, because of greed. A responsible person doesn't do something like this. And it's those people that will infiltrate Greenpeace, that will turn Greenpeace into a corporate facilitator. Okay, that will try to infiltrate any previously good organization or group, or it started locally. I told the story several times before in the past on my other channels. I'm not going to say where, but my husband and I, we tried to help. We tried to jump on board with any kind of group that was forming, that was initially meant in order to help animals or the environment, right? So because that kind of help is desperately needed everywhere. But right in the beginning, right in the very beginning, before the group has even formed itself, the wrong people already started to jump on board and try to hawk all of this onto themselves, and were only interested in fundraising and only interested in like becoming the chair and the fundraiser and the person who has the ultimate last decision or something like this. How dare these people? How dare anyone jumps in there and takes on this, brazenly pushes herself or himself into the forefront and says, I'm gonna be the one who is the one in charge, or who's the fundraiser. That's amazing. And they ruined the group before it ever even got started. They ruined the whole thing. People started to leave, and so I saw it in another time with the whale event. I participated on was the whale event. It was when Barack Obama was actually pressured by the Japanese whale hunters, probably paid, and wanted to allow whale hunting again on U.S. territory. That had been outlawed since, I don't know, when was that outlawed? That was before Ronald Reagan. And then Barack Obama wanted to reinstate that wanted to lift that moratorium on whale hunting on U.S. territory. People were shocked. The people who voted for him, including Paul Watson, who voted for Barack Obama. He was, I was very shocked. I already saw this in the beginning. I told the people from IFAW already in long time ago, at the end of the Bush era. I already told people, beware about Barack Obama. He's the corporate middleman. Okay? And nobody believed it. They go like, what is she racist? Must be racist. So, it's very sad. It's the fear of being called racist is so humongous that there's so much shame involved with why they really ride that train, that shame train. That's the entire Barack Obama campaign. It's a corporate sponsored thing, corporate installed thing. It's a corporate tactic. The entire thing from day one, even before he could even imagine that he would be chosen for something like this. The whole thing was a corporate maneuver to prevent Hillary Clinton from being elected. No one believed me. No one believed me. You must be racist. Yeah, but that's why they chose him, because they knew they could play that. They could play people like this. They could hitchhike on people's fear of being called racist. Yeah, so that's how it is. Okay. At the same time, I love Van Jones. He's black and he's doing something. He's really doing something. in San Francisco. He's doing something for the environment. And he tries to teach the black community about environmentalism and stewardship and growing their own vegetables and creating gardens and stuff. He's really doing some precious work. Yeah, I would love to have him as president. So, yeah, obviously it's not racism. So, no, Barack Obama is not the one who wanted to make the world a better place. And that's why he was chosen by the corporate agenda. He is one of the nephews, direct nephews of Dick Cheney, like the I don't know, first generation nephew. So I think Dick Cheney is Barack Obama's mother's brother. I think that's what it is. So, very closely related. And of course, these people those are oil people. That's an oil family. They're completely corporate. So every move is a move based on greed, not based on making the world a better place. So these are facts. They are painful for a lot of people, but it's still fact. Yeah. And in chat rooms, when I speak for peace, and it obviously, that's my theory, it must be threatening to their egos, because their egos have created an image around violence. And the image is, that's what they're used to, that's what they've always known. They've always been shamed into this. They never question it. They run with it. They use it. They incorporate that, and they become that. So that image of the violent man and the woman being oppressed, that's their way of living. That's so someone speaking out. If I speak out for the women, I'm immediately labeled feminazi. I'm labeled racist, of course. Islamophobe. Yes, you bet I am an Islamophobe. Okay. I'm a religiophobe. I don't like religion. Religion has not made the world a better place. It only caused severe, infinite suffering in the world. That's what it caused. Nothing but suffering for animals and humans. And this is a fact. I'm not pulling this out of my behind. This is a fact that exists, that existed before me, and it will exist after me. It exists regardless whether I talk about it or not. But I might just as well be a vehicle of fact sharing, of being a messenger of truth, giving you facts, telling you what the reality is, and telling you what truth is. Truth is not what humans create. Truth is not how things should be. Truth is not how things are created, what people think should be. Truth is the reality that really should exist. The reality of love and kindness. Truth is compassion. Truth is love. It is feeling empathy. That's truth. Empathy is real love. And that's what the infinite cosmos is. Okay? This feels good.
Can you take your clothes out?
Yeah, I'm making a video right now. Truth is standing alone and standing up against, if necessary, against entire humanity. Against the party, against your peer group, even against your so-called friends. If someone is a real friend, they will listen to you with an open mind. Okay, you guys take care.